What does this look like?
Cup.
Okay? So today and next weekend, we're gonna try to fill in some of that cup. It's not a long time we're gonna be together, but whatever time we have here together, we're gonna fill in the cup. We're gonna fill that cup, okay? We're gonna fill it up with stuff we're gonna learn, like about time management, productivity, the values of the company. You're gonna learn about each other. You're gonna meet each other. You're gonna have friends. You're gonna be able to connect with one another. You're gonna learn, you know, this person from this department. You're gonna, you know, all of that stuff. We're gonna do this, inshallah, right? But imagine all of that stuff that we're gonna put in here. All that stuff we're gonna learn. Imagine if there's a crack, okay? Imagine if there's a crack in that cup. Okay? If there's a crack in this cup, what's gonna happen to the stuff that we're gonna learn? If there's a crack here, what's gonna happen?
It's going outside.
It's gonna leak out. Exactly. Exactly. And if it leaks out, is that good?
No.
No, it's not gonna be good.
No.
Right? Right. And I just broke a pen. So if it's gonna break out, if it's gonna leak out, then it's not good. So that's why we need to have what we call a code of honor. What's it called, please?
Code of honor.
Code of honor. Thank you. So the code of honor, what it does, it's a set of rules that protects this cup. So if this information inside, we call it content. What's it called, please?
Content.
Content, right? So we're gonna learn content. Okay, content is very important, right? Content is good. How they're able to do this, how they're able to do that, all that stuff is very good. If this is a content, then the cup would be what we call it context. What's it called, please?
Context.
Context. Okay. And now, if there's a leak right there in the cup, if the cup is broken, which is more important? Is it the content or is it the context?
Content.
Context.
All right. How many of you think it's the content more important? Okay. How many of you think it's the context more important? It's exactly right. The context is more important. Why? Because content, you can find content everywhere. You can go on YouTube right now. You can go on Google. You can go anywhere. You can buy books. You can find everything you need to know about time management, about productivity, all that stuff. There are so many out there. Now, never mind that not all of them are good, right? And you have to filter through them, and you don't know where the source is coming from. It's going to be confusing. Some people will say this, some people will say that, right? But the content is there. Matter of fact, you can become a brain surgeon by going on YouTube. For me on YouTube, I'm learning how to create like a MailChimp account, how to be able to send automated emails, how to create webinars, how to able to talk to you. I learned about Zoom, all of that stuff, you know, using YouTube. Now, the context is what protects that content. And that's why the context is more important. The context is more about the why. It's about the mission. It's about why that's important and where the source is coming from. And in this organization today, you're going to learn about the context. You're going to learn about the mission. You're going to learn about the value. You're going to learn about, you know, the code of honor that's going to help protect that cup from breaking. And the code of honor is a set of rules that's going to help you protect this, you know, this information. So instead of me talking more about it, let's go ahead and practice it. Let me show you what does that mean. So we're going to create a code of honor for our training here together, being together here today and next week. Okay. So now, how many of you ever been upset with someone and you said something and you regretted? Yeah. Yeah. We all have done that, right? And you say to yourself, why did I do this? And then you regret it, right? Why? Yeah. Because when emotions go high, what do you suppose happened to our intelligence? What do you think will happen to that? Rands is going down. It goes down. Yeah. It goes down. Yeah. Exactly. How many of you can remember something that you did your emotions went high and you did something stupid and then you regret it. Yeah, I did that this morning. I was at grocery store. I'm picking up my mother, and I'm leaving the grocery parking lot, and there's a green light, and I'm trying to get in the green light, and this guy comes from nowhere and he just cuts me off, and he goes, and I found myself unconsciously just stepping on the gas, and I passed that guy, and then I cut him off, and then I kept going. I was like, what did I just do? Like I risked, having an accident. I have my mother with me, right? And I'm trying to prove a point that you cut me off and you're not supposed to do that. I'm trying to teach him a lesson. I was like, what? Am I like 16 years old? I'm still 16 years old. Why would I do this? How many of you ever done something like this or something more like, you regret it, right? So we do that kind of stuff. And that's why it's important to always come back and reflect on it and learn where it's coming from. What's the little voice is saying? So emotions go up, intelligence go down. That's why we need to have a code of honor, because the code of honor, it will protect you from you. Code of honor will protect me from me. So for example, now that I did this, I had a code of honor. I had an agreement with my mother. It's like, okay, when you're with me, I'm always gonna I'm gonna drive slow. Whatever happens, I'm not going to, drive fast, right? So this is an agreement. This is a rule that I put in place, right? The same thing, for example, if you, the safety belt. If you don't put your safety belt, it protects what value? What value does a safety belt protect? Why is it important to have a safety belt?
Safety belt can save your life even, because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Exactly. It's safety, right? So that's why the code of honor, is based on protecting the values. So just like the safety belt protects the value of safety, and that's a rule. There's a rule that you need to put your safety belt on. Now, if you don't put that safety belt on and the police see you, what's it gonna do?
Fine.
They'll
find you.
They're gonna give you a fine. So the code of honor is, this is how it works. You got a value. Okay. This one. You got value. You got a rule. And the rule will protect the value. Okay, so the value is safety. The rule is drive speeding limit or put your safety belt on. That's the rule. Okay, and if you break the rule, then you get a fine. Okay, we're gonna call it penalty. Okay, so you got a penalty. That is the code of honor. It starts with a value. There's a rule protects the value, and then if the rule is broken, there's a penalty. And that's how the countries are ran. You have rules, you have laws, right? I know when I was in Dubai, there's like these hidden cameras, and you're driving on the freeway, and then boom, you got flashed. How many of you been flashed in cameras before? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, exactly. So, and for example, if you play sports, how many of you play sports? Yeah. Okay. In sports, the same thing. There's rules, right? So the value of sports, let's say, is having fun and health, right? In order to protect fun and health, you need to have a rule. For example, in soccer, you can't go outside of the field. You have to play inside the field. And then if you go outside the field, then it's going to be out. You're going to lose the ball to the other team. Okay. The same thing. For example, Sharia law is a code of honor. It's a set of values that there are rules that protect these values, and there are also penalties if you break these rules, right? With Allah and all that. It's the same. It's similar. Everybody understand? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's why it's so important to have a code of honor to be able to, to keep yourself sane. So now you are going to do this for the training we have here today. So in order for us to protect the content of what we're going to be learning here and the context of the training, we need to come up with rules that's going to protect the value, and then penalties. Okay. So what would be the value of the training? What do you suppose one value would be? Learning, right? Learning is a value. What else? What else?
Development.
Development, exactly. Growth, right? Yes. Success, right? Yes. All of that. Perfect. That's our value. Great values. Now, what would be an example of a rule that protect, the growth?
Response.
Listen you properly. We have to be respond to you, but time to time.
There you go. So that we call that like
have little voice in our mind. We have to ask the question to you.
Okay, so that would be engagement, right? Engagement. Yeah. To be 100% engaged is a rule. Yeah. Good job. Exactly. Good. We're gonna worry about the penalties. The penalty would be if you're not engaged. The penalty is not supposed to put someone down. The penalty is designed to help yourself to grow. Okay, to help yourself to become better. So, for example, when I was in Lebanon, I was serving in the military. At the time, they used to have to be doing it mandatory. It's not like by choice. So I was very grateful that I had to go through this experience, that I served the military in Lebanon, because it turned me a lot of discipline, how to be responsible and all that stuff. So it taught me a value of responsibility. And a rule with that would be, for example, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, making my bed, shaving, and then being out there with everyone else, on time. Okay, that would be that was the rule. And if I didn't do that, which I tend to not to do that very often, I used to break the rules, and I used to do push-ups. They make me do push-ups, or they make me go run under the rain. Sometimes they make me put my bed on like wrapped on my back, and under the rain, I go run under the rain, right? But that penalty, it made me a better man. It made me more appreciative to things. It made me more humble and more like I want to appreciate things in a different way. Everybody understand? Yes?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah? Okay, good. So the same thing. So the penalty is supposed to lift you up. So right now, I'm going to put you in groups, and you're going to come up with some rules for the training, to govern the training, okay? That's going to protect the values of the training, which is growth, which is learning, which is also safety, right? So be able to share what you want to share. Respect could be also a value that you want to protect. So let's just be clear on some of these values. Respect is one of them. Growth is one of them, right? Safety, to be able to be safe, to share what you want to share, that will be one of them. I want to make sure that to have a rule around that. And you guys want to come up with rules. Right now, you gave me one rule, which is being 100% engaged, right? What would be an example for another rule?
Sincere.
I can hear you.
Punctuality.
Punctuality. Okay, guys, if you're not talking, please put yourself on mute, because there's some background echo. Okay, so that would be a rule that we need to put in place, which is, for us to be present and be able to grow, we need to have a rule that everybody will need to be on mute unless we are engaging each other, like we're talking. Now you can unmute yourself and make sure there's no distraction, there's no noise in the background. If you have kids, if you have people running around, go to the next room, make sure there's no distraction. And this is going to be doing this for your team as well. That's a value of respect. Okay, the value of respect to other people's time is you want to make sure that you have no distractions around you, no people on the phone around you, no kids running around, cats, dogs barking, whatever that is, right? Because now you want to respect other people's time, and you want to be able to be productive, and that's going to help you to be productive. So rules, you're going to come up with rules, and we're going to come back, and then we're going to come up with, and also I want you to come up with a penalty. Penalty, for example, if someone, let's say, the punctuality, be on time. Okay, great. If someone doesn't show up on time after break, or, next weekend doesn't show up on time, what would be the penalty? From the group of yesterday, they came up with an example. I'm going to share with you an example. You don't have to copy it. You can copy it. That's up to you. They come up with an example which they have to dance for 2 minutes for a song that they sent us to us on YouTube. I'm going to play that song for you when you come back. It's funny. And you're going to get to dance for 2 minutes in front of everybody, right? Another penalty they came up with, you have to tell a joke for everyone, all right? Another penalty would be to have to do an energizer, meaning you have to, you know, make everybody stand up and make them stretch, okay? Make them to move to keep the energy up, okay? So in each of your group right now, you're gonna come up with at least come up with 2 rules. Each group come up with 2 rules. What are these, what values that these rules protect? Okay, remember, values are different than rules. So safety is a value. Rule, put the seatbelt on, okay? Respect is a value. Make sure that your phone is muted and you are in a place where there's no distraction. That would be a rule. Okay, makes sense, yes? You guys get that? You guys are smart, eh? You guys get that, right? As far as penalty, okay, come up with 1 penalty. Each group come up with 1 penalty for if anybody breaks these rules throughout, then they are going to pick one of these penalties. Fun?
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah?
But
All right, let's do it.